Yo guys, welcome to the last lap. Don't forget to drop a lovely, juicy 5-star rating if you're watching on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Equal machinery section.
Yep, it's time.
Final section of the pod.
We had Checo Perez versus Daniel Ricciardo last time. In what? In equal machinery, who would come out on top?
Yes.
We've obviously got 3 people though today.
Three people. So we have picked 3 different drivers. We've been randomly assigned a driver each, and we have to give an argument as to why we think the driver we've been assigned. So we don't necessarily believe they are the quickest of the 3 in equal machinery.
Well,
we have to give them as compelling an argument as we can.
So this is why Nicholas Latifi is actually quicker than Max Verstappen. Do you know what I mean?
Basically.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because actually it's Max Verstappen. It's not really. I'm joking. So today's 3 drivers. We thought we'd go with the old timers.
Yeah, we're going Goat-gate here.
We're going Hamilton, Vettel, Alonso.
Oof.
3 of them in equal machinery today.
Right.
So
Today, not just in history, today, or in history as well.
producer Lewis has assigned us you have Fernando Alonso.
Surprise, surprise.
I have Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Which means you have Sebastian Vettel.
Sebastian.
I'm going to make you start, Aldas, because you love Fernando.
Yeah.
I think you will have no problem backing this one. So should we give you should I get a little timer actually?
Give him like a minute and a half.
I might do a little timer. Yeah. So get a little timer up on my phone. Clock app. That'll work.
Here we go. The old man with the technology.
He's just got the one finger.
Where's my glasses?
Rolling through.
God, these buttons are a bit small.
All right, go. Hurry up.
Right, Fernando Alonso as the best of the 3. I think in terms of when you look at the consistency across the entire season, there is not just entire season, the career, all the way from the beginning, he has adapted to every single car. Now I know people talk about 2007 where he did get beaten by Lewis, but it was only no points in it. That was many moons ago, and he has developed as a driver since then, as has Lewis as well. He has always been consistent and adaptable to any single car. It's very difficult to measure him in terms of stats because if your argument is just the stats, then I don't even know what you're talking about because Formula One is so subjective in terms of what car they're given. I think it's all about the fact that he's been so adaptable, not just in Formula One, but out of Formula One as well. He's been pretty dominant against some of his teammates as well. And he's always had that motivation and drive. When you look at another driver, someone like Sebastian Vettel, who sometimes perhaps has made a few more mistakes, Fernando Alonso is someone who doesn't have a lot. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He's been unbelievably adaptable. He's unbelievably quick as well. And I think even though he's not perhaps the quickest qualifier, which I will admit, over the course of a race distance, there is not many drivers in Formula One history that are as motivated, as aggressive, and also as good over the course of an entire race. And that is why, even though he doesn't have the stats or the cars to prove it, whatever car he has been given, he has always extracted the most out of it.
Wow.
Decent. Didn't even need the 1 minute 30. Motor mouth Aldas.
Can I just say, they didn't tell me that we were going to be doing this, so that was just off the top of my head.
That was off the dome.
Unbelievable.
This is what I mean.
We didn't know.
You did him a favour there, Lewis, giving him Alonso.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. It was this is your lucky day. All right, then. Next.
Right.
Vettel.
Sebastian.
Niran. Sebastian.
All right, sensational. Yeah. Boom. Let's have it. Right. Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion. All the way through the Red Bull era, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. Well, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2013.
Wow.
Obviously was not beaten by a rookie at any point during his career, but was only beaten by an Australian man in Daniel Ricciardo. So, yeah, a lot of Fernando Alonso doesn't have that. Next question. But yeah, no, during those 4 years, Sebastian Vettel was absolutely unbelievable. I know in sort of 2013, the Red Bull was a lot stronger, but in 2012 and 2010, you had a lot of rivals in McLaren and Ferrari. Managed to come out on top during that entire period. People literally hated him because of how dominant he was during that time.
True.
He was so unbelievably good that
takes some doing.
Him.
Talk outside of Red Bull. Talk outside of Red Bull.
Sensational. Talk about outside of Red Bull. Okay, Toro Rosso when he won in Monza 2008 in a shocking Toro Rosso car in changeable conditions in the wet. Never really. I don't even know the last time we saw a driver of that youth do something in a car that was so far away from being able to win. Not only sticking it on pole, but then absolutely dominating the Grand Prix as well. Let's be honest. Let's be real here. He's had some down points as well, like at Ferrari or whatever. But at first at Ferrari, really, really strong. Taking it to Lewis Hamilton in a car that was definitely not superior to the Mercedes monster in the hybrid era. And even at Aston Martin, I feel like he's done a really good job of steadying the ship there and beating Lance Stroll.
Oh, bang on 130. Look at that.
Yeah, man.
Lovely.
even with us two kind of like poking a few little digs in there, that was a good. I rate that was a good argument. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
We going?
You, Lewis.
We going?
Go again.
Lewis Hamilton, statistically the greatest of all time and quicker than all these three in equal machinery today. Lewis has done it. You talk about Fernando done it in every single piece of machinery he's ever driven. Well, Lewis has won a race in every single year he's raced in F1, apart from this year, but he still managed a P2. And let's be honest, if circumstances had played out slightly differently, he would have 100% picked up a win this year. That is no doubt on his ability, his talent. Look, at the end of the day, you said it yourself, when you're fighting at the front, when you're fighting for wins to win in every single season, is very different to, I beat my teammate in every season I've raced. Yes, look, Lewis Hamilton's teammates have always been top billing. He's raced against Jenson Button, world champion. He's raced against Nico Rosberg, world champion. He's raced against Valtteri Bottas, maybe not a world champion.
Terrible. Heikki Kovalainen.
But still, Heikki Kovalainen, he was in that top 10 of AWS quickest of all time, wasn't he?
Is that your argument? Amazon
Maybe.
AWS.
You know what?
Bring
You know what? The data backs me. Look, Lewis does it consistently, even this year. Even though he was like, you know what? I will take on the development of the car, right? George, you do your thing, right? I'm going to sort this car out. To sort that Mercedes out from the start to the end of the year, that development in that car, insane. That is, you look at what he did to that Mercedes team, where they were when he joined, when he took in. Everyone criticised it. Everyone was like, why are you leaving McLaren? And he turned it around. He's done it in every single season because he is number one and quicker than Vettel and Fernando in equal machinery today. Done.
Big fan of you managing to do that without mentioning the 7 world titles.
Yeah.
I
mean, he was talking about the Red Bull days for like 40
statistically
40
the greatest of all time.
time.
Statistically the greatest, most.
I didn't even talk about the world titles with Fernando because that was like so long ago. I forgot about it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. I like that.
That was very good from all of us. Off the dome, I think we've done really well there.
I like,
there was no real
doing it
preparation
under
there.
the time limit as well.
Yeah,
a little bit more
keep doing that.
restricted.
It's also, can I just say, it's also a little bit more difficult. You actually have to make the case, even if you maybe don't believe it. But
Well, that's the point of it all. That's the
part
point
of the
of it
game.
all. At this point now, we can sort of guess amongst ourselves whether we do truly believe who we were arguing for is the one that would win in equal machinery.
Equal machinery today.
Equal machinery today.
well, Seb's retired, so that's a bit difficult to. That's the weird thing. When you say today, are you talking like literally like in the 2022
with their current
season?
ability, because you look at how like Seb had a really strong season this year. You can't like Seb,
True.
Fernando and Lewis all had very good 2022s, I think.
A testament to their longevity, especially.
Yes.
Like they've been in the sport for a long time, and they've done an amazing job.
And all in very
really
different
good
cars
seasons.
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do we actually think?
Alas, what do you
I mean,
actually think?
I still think Lewis perhaps when everything was right, because even though George kind of outscored him, when everything was right, I think Lewis actually had like 3 or 4 tenths over George some races in qualifying. Yeah. So I still think Lewis is the quicker driver. I do think that I've always kind of rated Fernando and Lewis just a little bit above Seb, just that consistency, purely because I don't think when I rate a driver, and I know that it's a little bit different to what we're doing here, it's not just about what you're doing on the day. It's about a career. It's about a legacy.
Yeah.
In terms of,
as well.
I would still probably back Lewis just because I think in terms of one lap, he is still one of the quickest guys out there. So. But Fernando, and that's the thing with Fernando, qualifying I wouldn't say is kind of his forte.
Yeah.
He's a much better driver on the Sunday in terms of like managing the race and managing tyres and kind of having that whole picture. And the same with Seb as well. I mean, he's had some amazing, perhaps Seb is even a better qualifier than Fernando, but I think Fernando perhaps a little bit stronger in the races. So all of these guys are super close, but at the end of the day for me, I'd still probably put Lewis. And it has nothing to do with me wearing this jumper.
See, I'm not going to lie, I actually thought he believed in Alonso. That was very convincing from you.
I know.
I genuinely thought that. Tommo, with you... No, don't tell me because I want to. We need to guess. So
Albon.
Albon out of the 3, Alexander Albon. I think you
Alonbon.
I think you believed it
Today, right now,
Yeah.
you put all 3 in the same car. But that's the problem. Like, what car are you going to give them as well? It's like
Yeah.
with Fernando,
Fiat
it's
500.
A Renault Clio. French.
Renault Twizy.
I think you believe it. What about you? Do you think he believes it? Do you think he believes Lewis? I think he does.
I actually don't know. No, you know what?
Not helpful whatsoever.
No. So going into this and hearing all your arguments as well, and hearing my own arguments, I think today, I actually think Alonso just about
Oi.
edges it out. because I think that the job, if you actually look at the average deltas pace-wise, and I'm not just talking qualifying one lap pace. I think qualifying pace, I think Lewis ahead of all three. But I think overall, I think race pace, I don't know, I've just been so impressed with Fernando this year, and I feel that there's been a few little moments from Lewis. I don't think Lewis is at the prime levels that he was setting in 2019, 2020. I think there's been a slight.
So you're saying he's washed.
Down.
And the thing is, because he's coming from
That is what Twitter will say.
He's done. He's finished.
and he's still performing at a high level, but because of the high pedestal that he was at,
Exactly.
it's not as if he's like,
If you're up there already, and then you come to there, you're still up. You're still up there.
Yeah.
So I would actually say, I think Alonso.
What about me? How was Sebastian Vettel? What do we think? Did I truly believe in what I was saying?
No.
No.
I saw a few. Do you know the lie detectors when they like go off? I saw the twitch.
I think there were more receipts you could have brought out that you didn't, and I just think if you really believed it, you would have had those receipts.
Yeah, I didn't have the receipts.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'll be honest, lads.
I think.
Yeah, no, I didn't believe it. I can confirm.
If you'd have pushed the whole, because how close he got. The fact that he was the challenger to Lewis for 2017 and 18, I think, is hugely overlooked.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Which is why you didn't believe it, because you forgot it.
I got to 15 seconds from the end. I was like, oh yeah, shit, man, 2017, he was sick.
He was doing a really good job. It was nice to see like the bounce back as well. Kind of 2017 was a great season in terms of like brand new rules, and we did have a championship fight for a little bit. But yeah, I think with Seb, even especially now, I mean, that's why I was kind of asking, like, do you mean right now? I think the motivation isn't quite there. He was still performing at a really high level. Don't get me wrong, like there were some amazing performances. I think Suzuka was stunning, like from Seb, and I think also Austin was another really good race. But I think the likes of Lewis and Fernando, just the motivation, and obviously natural, Seb's leaving. I think the motivation and determination was just a little bit higher in 2022 from kind of what I saw. But
yeah,
I think it's still a testament to all three of these drivers are still absolutely just incredible.
Yeah, indeed.
So who do you actually think then?
Lewis for me.
Yeah.
But it's an edge. It's like very close. It's close between all three of them. Like I love Seb. Like I think the only reason I don't believe in him like as like a GOAT of all time, whatever, is he's had these low points that a lot of the other ones haven't had. Like, was it 2019? We got absolutely
18 and 19.
18 and 19.
A lot of mistakes.
Losing to Daniel Ricciardo was like a little bit, but not as bad. But getting slapped about by Leclerc was a bit more of a problem. All the spins, whatever. But in his prime, in his peak, I actually think he was probably. He might have even been the best out of the three in his peak.
In terms of the most dominant period.
There is no doubt in my mind. The 2013 Seb was better than anything we've seen from Alonso or Hamilton in terms of 1 year, one
the
season.
Ceiling.
Exactly, for the ceiling. But that's why, just me as a person, I don't judge a driver by one season, one race. I need a body of work in different cars, different teams, and that's what I value. So I don't go over one season or even three. Like,
it's a different conversation, isn't it? If you're going to talk about a prime, a certain period of time, isolate that from the rest of someone else's career, fine. But if you're talking about totality, you kind of have to take everything, the good and the bad.
You do indeed.